Okay, I should be live, according to the thing anyway. So let's see what's going on here. Hey, Rob. Oh, man. Well, I'm sorry to hear that your cat's having a hard time. Hey, Rich, how's it going? Hey, Geek Swall. Hey, Sonny, how's it going? So, as usual, I don't really have any kind of a plan. Hey, Silly Kitty. Echo. Well, glad you're here. Welcome. Hey, Orion, how's it going? Hey, Around the Block. It is okay. It's a Saturday night, right? Hey, Ben, how's it going? Aloha. Well, it's good you came by. You got to stay for at least the first break, man. Yeah, you got to at least wait for that. I think I'm gonna. I was gonna play K Diamonds, but I don't know. My week was it was at its ups and downs. I don't know. It's still kind of, I don't know. It's hard to say, but I was I don't know, parts of it. I'll try to focus on the good parts. I was able to get a fair amount of work for the channel done. So because I have big plans for Patreon and all kinds of stuff to come into the future. So anyway, so I'm trying to get on the ball and get a lot of stuff done. So hopefully that'll play out the way I want it to. So there's the tease for that, I guess. Anyway, I'm thinking, what do I was going to, I'll just go ahead and do this a bit here. I was thinking I might play like Mastermind or something, but I think for the moment I'll just go and do this thing, I guess. Yeah. What are we doing here, Bill? Let's move this one like that. Oops, I need to move the OBS thing so I can see the comments. $18 degrees, okay. Hey, Doug, how's it going? Right on, playing games while I'm playing games, okay. That's kind of, fitting, I suppose, yeah. Oh, what am I doing here? Got to find something to move. There we go, how about that? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not terribly good at staying on top of it, I don't think, but I'm trying to get better at it. And, having lost access to the other channel, I figure, my only really hope is to, try to put a lot more energy into the Patreon thing. So we're going to see how I can make that work. Hey, James, I'm doing okay. Thank you for asking. Is the game sound too loud? I didn't think I had changed it since last time, but it seems like the meters are making more wiggliness. Or it could just be I'm, noticing it more or something. Okay, then I'll leave it be unless somebody complains. Thank you, Sunny Thief. Yeah, it would be nice if they would do something, but I don't think it's going to happen. Thanks. It's so easy for me to just sort of zone out on this game. I guess that's what makes it be good for ASMR, right? Yeah, I really do like Enigma. You know, that's a fun game to play. It gets really frustrating at times for me, I have to admit. Well, as if, you know, any of you who've seen the most recent one will know. Yikes. I had to go look at that one after I did the editing, just because it was driving me nuts, just to try to figure out how it was going to work. And I figured out how it could be done, you know, theoretically, but I don't have the skill set to do it. I kept falling into the water. So, yeah, I don't know. I may revisit that one at some point in the future, but I don't know. But it is a fun game to play. Oh, just for, I guess, teasers for whatever, a person made the suggestion, and I can't remember who made it and when exactly, but that I should try to play Revolver Sweeper. And yeah, I think I already mentioned that, right? That I've been trying to play it. I don't know. I think I'm getting the hang of it. Does anybody have any good news they'd like to share with the group? Any birthdays or anniversaries or such a thing? Noteworthy events? Did you get an A on a test? Oh, really? So, what's it called? You should go ahead and promote it in the chat, so everybody could see. Go check out Geeks Wall's single. Wow, that's pretty big news around the block. That's crazy cool. All right on the Lakers, I guess. Right on MSC. Right on Archangel, right on. Lots of people are having some good stuff happen. That's really groovy. All right. Hey, Kate Manda, how you doing? Good to have you here, as usual. Some people were just letting us know some good news in their world. Interstellar and Second Home is the name of it. Okay. So everybody go check that out, all right? Cool, cool. Yeah, I mean, I've had some challenges this week, but for the most part, I'm going to say it's good, so I'll just leave it at that. And, yeah, good things happening to people's world is good. Well, I'm glad, Geeks. Well, it's good. Nice to have you here. Right, intergalactic. Man, I haven't listened to the Beastie Boys in ages. I'm going to have to maybe do that later. Man, they were quite the thing back in the day. Intergalactic, it's still the same thing. Well, thanks for stopping by, Lima Hotel. You know, it's good to hear from you. Good to hear from everybody who shows up. And I'm trying to think. Oh, you know what? I haven't started the clocks yet. I better do that, hadn't I? Okay. So we're getting some extra time today. Boink, boink, boink. So let me go down to here and this one. Okay, and then let me go over to here and that one. Okay. Okay, it looks like everything is more or less working out properly. Let me go check the... You know, I'm going to switch over to the not playing. There we go. So I think I'll have a drink of water first off, and then I'll... Yeah, thanks, Lima Hotel. That's why I like playing it here. Yeah, it's really the pictures suck me in and everything. Yeah. Anyway, what am I going to do tonight? What should I start with? Oh, I don't remember. Have I shown you guys this yet? My new favorite crinkly thing. I have two of them. guess I'll do some more crinkling later. I just thought I'd bring those out now to kind of, well, just while you're at your job, make sure you stay safe, man. Okay, let's do some brushing with the craft brush. How about that? Trying to do some soft brushing. Doing your nails on a Saturday night, huh? Let's see. The wild old woman. Or one wild. Wait. I'm one wild. Oh, well, okay, I get it. My brain was being dyslexic for a second there. Oopsie daisy, don't brush the hard belt. Brush over here a little bit. Brushing over here a little bit. Brushing over here a little bit. And now we'll switch over and brush a little bit over here. Brushing over here. Just a little bit. Brushing over here a little bit. Oops, comments are coming. These are two AKGs and they run into a Focusrite. So I'm using an interface, yeah. It's the 8i6. So I have these two mics in the front and then I have my keyboard and my guitar and stuff run into the back. Oh, hey, Dylan. How's it doing, man? Hey, Adam, what's up? I think it's mostly a good thing tonight. Okay, now switch back over to here. Okay, geeks, well, have a good one. And what did I do with the paintbrush? I know it's right here. It was obscured behind the good old chunk of wood, so. Do a little bit of brushing right onto the mic. What a shaving brush sounds like on those mics. I don't have a shaving brush. I should get just more brushes, Just, but I don't know. I'll figure it out. Get some more brushes. I should end up with a whole box that'll be my, ASMR trunk, like with the compartment for all the crinkly stuff and a compartment for all the brushes and, like how magicians have their little, their trunko tricks. Be like that. Yeah, some whoopsie daisy. Something going on upstairs. Bill's trunko tricks. What's that? Also, Dazaroop. Good comment. I hope I said your name even close to anything resembling. Here, I'm going to try to do that. Brush softly over there while I'm speaking softly over here. Brushing softly over there while I am speaking softly over there. Nope, everything is as it was for the original channel, so no new news. Keep all your gags in that bag. That's funny. Be the trunko tingles, I guess, or something. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a little bit of whispering over here too, if I can pull off brushing softly and whispering over here. Sometimes I just don't feel terribly coordinated. Alright, let's switch around, shall we? Try to brush softly over there while I whisper over here. And whispering and brushing and whispering and brushing. Whispering and brushing and whispering and brushing. I'm gonna switch. So let's see. Let's do some bit with the good old chunk of wood. I'll tap on it for a bit and then I'll brush on it for a bit, and we'll just sort of have some haphazard triggers for this evening. Sort of a Bill's mixed bag of tricks, I guess. Thanks, Ben. I like the wood block. Good old chunk of wood. I'll tap over there with the good old chunk of wood. And I'll sort of half whisper, half soft speak over here while I'm tapping over here. No, whispering over here. And tapping over there. And I'm whispering over here while I'm tapping over there. And I'm whispering over here while I'm tapping over there. And I'm whispering over here while I'm tapping over there. And I will switch. And I will whisper over here while I'm tapping over there. And I'm whispering over here while I'm tapping over there. I am whispering over here while tapping over there. Oh, yeah, Adam, I just saw your comment. Yeah, sometimes the people upstairs, they make noise. Sorry about that. It does occur. I think chasing social status, I don't know if it's such a good idea, frankly. It seems that it's kind of empty. But people are gonna, people are gonna go after what appeals to them. But I think if you wanted to be exceptional, then I would suggest pick something that you dig and be exceptional at it, for the sake of being exceptional at it. Whether it's, dance or art or singing or, in the sciences or who knows what, I don't know. Maybe beekeeping. I think humans should strive to be exceptional. Well, you are special, Rob. special, Rob. I like the sunglasses, Rob. I mean, I suppose, oopsie daisy, there goes the brake timer just went off. Okay, I'm coming. Just stop already. Heebie jeebie. Okay, I'm going to take a break, guys. And, well, and check this out. Okay, I'm back. So what do you guys think of the new brake screen? That was a wow. That was a custom job, man. And that's a Ben special. So everybody give Ben 3 cheers for a fantastic new brake screen. Anyway, so there we go. What am I going to move to now? I'm going to do some more tapping and stuff with the wood, and then I'll do some brushing on the end grain, I think. Yeah, Ben, that was a really good job, man. Well, clearly I think so. I wouldn't put it up if I didn't, but but thanks a lot, man. It's really fantastic. It's got that dark, groovy vibe, and it's just trippy enough that, you know, it fits. Okay. Let's have a little bit of end grain brushing first with the craft brush. I think it's a bit more of a, I don't know. Well, it's smaller, isn't it? So, I mean, of course it sounds different, but I like it a lot, though. I think it's a very nice sound. Yeah, thanks, Ben. Yeah, that worked out really well. How tall am I? A little more than 5'10", just a butt hair more than 5'10". I used to be 6 feet tall, but you know that's what happens when you have degenerative discs. They disappear and you shrink. Actually, I don't know. I could be shorter. That was the last time I got my height measured that they actually told me a number. Oops, don't bang into things, Bill. Yeah, sometimes it kind of makes, when I do that painting on the end grain, it makes me think of some of the sounds Bob Ross makes when he's painting on the canvas, you know. I mean, it's not the same sound, but, you know, I don't know, it kind of just makes me think of it. Yeah, there's this kind of theme through a lot of ASMR sounds that has a white noise component to it, you know. I'm going to switch to the paintbrush now for some end grain brushing. No, I didn't actually used to work out barely at all. Well, that's not true. I did, like, just before my back problems, but that was, yeah, most of my life, though, I didn't work out. But so, I guess from, well, I don't know, it was after I started the channel. It was during a period when I wasn't doing much of, you know, putting anything out. And I was still living over in San Francisco. And I was, well, I was using my bike to commute, and I was working out a lot then. But I mean, I was never like a guy that went to the gym and put on muscle or anything like that. I mean, I was, you know, in pretty decent shape for a little while when I was doing that with the, you know, I was basically doing body weight exercises and of course bike riding. And well, in San Francisco, when I lived on a hill, and if you know San Francisco, you know how, you know what that is, man. Those hills can be a pain. They're a lot of work to get up. The good news is, going to work, I was mostly downhill, almost the entire way, really. But that meant coming back to home from work was going uphill almost the whole way. A lot of it was a very, you know, slight grade, just a, you know, a few percent. But once I got past downtown, that was like, you know, going up the hill. Then it was, yeah. I mean, it wasn't super long. San Francisco's a small city anyway, so. Okay, Ben, that would be fine if you want to send that. That'd be great. think I'm going to do some crinkling. Do the big things a little bit later. Let's just do some of the stuff from the... I decided to put everything into a big paper bag now. I've got too much of it. Makes it easier to sort through that. Okay, I don't know if I like that too much. I'll give that one more go. I do like this one. And I think this would work pretty good too. So let's try that one again. And I like the snack bar wrapper one. And then, of course, the okay, who first? I'm going to do this. I did these recently, I guess. I don't remember if it was last time or the time before for the first time, but it was for foil candy wrapper, right? Oops, there's noise from upstairs. How far am I away from the coast? Let's see, it's about I guess if I was to drive, it would take me about, I don't know, about a half an hour, if there's no traffic anyway, to get into San Francisco, and then just, I don't know, depending on traffic, to get across to there. I guess it'd probably be faster if I went to Half Moon Bay. Probably no more than half an hour. Probably like an hour, I guess, to be honest, because there's always going to be traffic, and because I'm on the east side of the San Francisco Bay. To get to the bay, I could be to the bay in just like 10 minutes. Okay, where am I at? I think I've missed some comments here. Oh, hey Kaiser, how's it going? Thank you. Oh, okay. Kate Nana's one asked me about the coast. I liked when I lived in San Francisco because I was like kind of smack dab in the middle of the city. And so it's easy for me to get, pretty much anywhere. Either on my bike or on the bus. I didn't own a car there either. Well, that's kind of when I stopped owning a car, really. Thanks, Kaiser. Wow. Remind me where you are, James? Are you in Southern California or something? Or am I thinking of somebody else? That's funny, Missy. Oh, did I? Okay. I can't keep track of when I use everything. All right, then if it's okay, then I'll keep it in then. I play guitar mostly, but I can sort of operate keyboards in a half-assed manner, percussion. Of course, bass. But I'm not really a bassist, but I can operate bass. But I'm a guitarist. Oh, okay, wow. Right on. That's a nice part of the world, man. That's very close to where I used to work when I worked for Max Springer. I can't think. He lived on Loring, I think is what the name of the street was. So it wasn't as far north and as close to the beach as you, but... Yeah, if you go look at my original channel, Kaiser, somewhere there's a show and tell where I show off my guitars and stuff. So I currently have 2 guitars. I have an old Rickenbacker, which is a genuine USA-made Rickenbacker. And then I have an EVH Wolfgang, which is the inexpensive Indonesian one, which I really quite like, to be honest. They both need new strings badly, though, so I have them. I just haven't got off my ass to put them on. But, you know, I'm going to switch. This is too subtle for me right now. Let's do the plasticized snack bar wrapper. Ah, getting those transients, man. Sending the meters crazy. Yeah, this is a really good crinkle sound, by my estimation anyway. Well, if you think it's worth sending, then send it, Ben. I mean, I'll put whichever one you want me to put up is the one I'll put up. How about that? I mean, you're the artist, so you tell me which one you prefer to be up. Okay, we're almost to the next break. I think I'll probably do some more crinkling still when I come back, but I might go back to doing some of that K-diamond as well. And I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. There's no hard and fast plan here. Okay, thanks, Ben. Thanks, Kaiser. I appreciate that. In California, it's coming up on 9 p.m. Like 8 minutes away, more or less. Okay, we're just about down to that break. I will be back in, I don't know, a couple of minutes. And I'm back. Okay, let's see. What made me start YouTube? A couple of things. One, I had been listening to so much ASMR, I kind of wanted to, give back. And I had, heard from people, in my past that I had a pleasant timbre to my voice, so I thought, might be worth giving it a go. And I had also recently given up drinking from having spent decades of being a blackout drunk, and so I needed stuff to do. So the two kind of collided, and I started the channel. Feister, how's it going? So I was doing some crinkling, wasn't I? I think I'm done with the plasticized snack bar wrapper. Let's do the big bag, just because I like it so much. This is one of my favorite ones, to be honest. Well, hey, Nubby, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming by. Do I use other forms of media, social media? I used to have a Facebook channel and I used to have Instagram, but when I lost access to my Google accounts, I lost access to those because I couldn't do the, authentication stuff, so I can't log into anything. And I also lost the logins to those things directly anyway, so. Yeah, so currently now the only thing I do is YouTube. I'm thinking of, and will probably as soon as I can, get my head around it and actually do it, I'm gonna start doing streams when I do these, I'll do them on Twitch as well. And I do have Patreon, but there's really nothing over there right now. Just a little bit of a chat, but that's about it. So yeah, I guess that's it. So I'm not good at the whole social media game, man. I think part of it is a lot of it just doesn't interest me much, Hey, Kepler. What did you name your cat? Piewacket. That's what I would name a cat if I had a cat, Piewacket. And bonus points for anybody who can name where that comes from. And MSC, you don't count. What music do I like? I like all kinds of music, really. For the most part. Yikes! How do I answer that question? I like old blues stuff. Robert Johnson and Lead Belly. Was one of my favorites. I like stuff even later than that, of course. Like John Lee Hooker and Howlin' Wolf. Those are my two favorite guys from that sort of era. I also like, the Rhapsody in Blue, right? You know what I mean? Hendrix is one of my favorite popular, kind of rock guys. Actually, I like a lot of rock music. I like Led Zeppelin. I like, of course, the Yardbirds. That kind of thing comes together with in my head. Cream and all that stuff, and of course Pink Floyd. I love them a lot. What else do I like? I like a lot of jazz. I like Thelonious Monk. I like John Coltrane. I like Ornette Coleman. I like Miles Davis. I like stuff I've been listening to a lot lately is African Head Charge. Actually, for a couple of weeks now, this kind of African Head Charge and Adrian Sherwood thing, with a bunch of other dub stuff. And Laurie Anderson, I've been listening to her a lot lately too. I like to listen to a lot of the, like Can and who else, like Ashra and that kind of thing. And I can't think of any names of newer people because they all came into existence after I stopped buying, physical entities, as like CDs or records or anything. And then when I stopped doing that, I stopped remembering anybody's name. You know what I mean? Anyway, I think I need to catch up on some comments. I would agree with that, Jarvis. I think Hendrix was one of those rare beings that really, did a thing that was pretty amazing. I have listened to Metallica. I've been listening to them lately. Believe it or not, I think I really, really, really like their Black album. I know a lot of hardcore fans think it wasn't maybe their best one, but I liked the Black album a lot. Yeah, you're right, man. Thelonious Monk, his understanding of harmony is just crazy. He's just off the charts with the way he puts things together, man. Yeah, Stevie Ray Vaughan is another good guitarist. And of course there's people like, John McLaughlin and Alan Holdsworth and, all those guys. What's that one guy that he's a fairly newer guy. I can't think of his name. Is it like Tosin Abasi or something like that? He's a black guy. Oh man, he's a pretty impressive player. I'm not too familiar with a lot of his music. I've seen a couple of things on YouTube though where I was like, wow, that's pretty something. That's something. Okay, yeah, nobody else said it, MSC, but you're right. Yeah, ding, 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 ding. You get the points. My favorite Metallica song. Actually, it's Sandman. Yeah, I like Queen. They're not my favorite out of that group, though. But I mean, yeah, I like a lot of Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath and that sort of thing, and AC/DC. And I used to be, when I was a teenager, I was a huge fan of Ted Nugent. He kind of, I don't know. I can take or leave him at this point. Yeah, Prince is pretty much a genius, huh? Tosin Abasi, yeah. Animals as leaders, right? Yeah. That's the ones. That's the ones, right? Yeah, Ray Charles is fantastic. Of course, James Brown and George Clinton. George Clinton, man. Holy mackerel. Weird Al, yeah. Just eat it right. But I was also into a lot of stuff like Throbbing Gristle and Cabaret Voltaire. And I knew a guy that was friends with Boyd Rice, who's the guy that did Non. So there you go. That might brush with fame with the industrial rock crowd. Of course, this is like way pre 9 Inch Nails stuff. This is late 70s into the 80s stuff. And I liked Public Image Limited a lot. I have listened to Anthrax. I've never owned any of their albums or anything like that. But I've had a couple of friends that were super into metal, and they liked everything from like Iron Maiden to what was the one, Sepultura, and there's other bands that I can't think of the names of that were some of them were very kind of more doom, I guess is what you would call it or something. but some of them that were just like that kind of death metal thing. And I don't know. There's so many strains of metal now. I don't know. I can't keep it straight at all. So I don't know, man. Silver doesn't ring a bell. Yeah, dude. I used to listen to Dr. Demento like religiously. The Flying Lizards were on there. That's the first place I heard Frank Zappa was on Dr. Demento. And The Normal. He's actually, The Normal and stuff like that. Yeah, man, I forgot about that. Man, he played all kinds of stuff in Barnes and Barnes, right? Fish Heads, that song, right? Fish heads, roly-poly fish heads. Yeah, Fleetwood Mac is pretty good. I mean, that one album, was it Rumors or whatever, was, of course, quite the monster at the time. It was like a juggernaut. And I liked some of the earlier stuff, too, that was more blues-like, with, the whole Mick Fleetwood bluesy sort of thing. Don't eat that yellow snow, right? Yeah, my sister and I had these two friends. They were named Gino and Tony, and they were the same age as me and my sister. And so the four of us used to hang out a lot. And they would come over on weekends, and especially during the summer, and we would stay up late listening to Dr. Demento. Man, that was fantastic. We'd take the radio outside, depending if the weather was nice enough. Anyway, I got some comments here. We got... Yeah, Oscar Peterson, fantastic, yeah. Okay, I think let's put that stuff down there. I'm going to play with these big things for a few minutes just because I really like them. There's just something about them. I'm going to have to build a little structure with this stuff. And put the mics inside of it and make it be like a little miniature crinkle house. You know what I mean? Well, come in whenever you want, Kaiser. It's fantastic to have you, man. You're welcome. Hey, Vexing. Hey, how you doing, man? Aloha. Yeah, I really like this. I'm not even talking, I'm so zoned out on this on my own, Okay, around the block. Good doing whatever you need to do, man. Rock the world, man. I used to know a lot of really bad jokes. I wish I could remember any of them. Maybe that's the thing I should do is ASMR telling of like really, really bad jokes. I didn't even notice then. I didn't notice at all. Wow, you work in politics. Crazy. I could not do that. But yeah, California's nice. I like it here. I mean, wait, who said that? Sunny said that? I don't know about recreating Margaritaville, but I don't drink anymore, so yeah. I mean, we occasionally have family get-togethers that are pretty. I mean, other people drink upstairs. I mean, I don't, but yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it would resemble Margaritaville, but yeah. Yeah, you're right, MSC. That was like magic, man. That was absolutely magic. And man, I remember when I got a little AM/FM radio that had an LED display on it, and we would take that outside, and it changed everything for us because it glowed red. You know what I mean? So like we'd be all sitting outside with all of our basically, going around cardinal directions away from each other, all with our heads, next to the radio, because we couldn't crank it, right, because we were in the backyard. We didn't want our parents or the neighbors getting all pissed off, so we're all sitting there huddled by the radio, sleeping outside and staying up till after Dr. Lameno and stuff. Man, yeah. I like a little bit of Glenn Campbell and a little bit of Willie Nelson. Oops, there was the break thing. So I will be back, guys. Enjoy the thing here. Okay, so I'm back. And turntable anymore, but there is something to be said for the whole experience of playing an LP and, holding the album cover and all of that. I mean, there's just a whole, it's a whole procedure, you know what I mean? It's not just flicking it on, so that's the thing I do miss. Especially with vinyl. There's just something about putting the vinyl on and then taking the tone arm over and, setting that needle down on the thing. And for a brief little time, I was kind of into hi-fi, but yeah. Excuse me. Okay, I was going to play with these for a little bit, but it wasn't. I'll think of something else to do. I can't now tell you what Glenn Campbell or Willie Nelson I like because I never owned it. It would have been something that people played for. Oh, wait a minute. Glenn Campbell, is he the one that does that, the Lineman song, the Wichita Lineman or whatever? I like that song. I think, is that Glenn Campbell? And I'm trying to think of a Willie Nelson song that I would know the name of that I like. He does that song that You're Always on My Mind, right? That's a song I like of his, I think, if it's him. Either that or whoever it is, I like that. I don't know. Nothing comes to mind because that's not anything I'm familiar with. He was quite the big star when I was a kid, man. Willie and Waylon. Now that makes me think I saw this clip on YouTube a little while back, and it was Snoop Dogg, although is he going by a different thing now? A Snoop Dogg Lion something, or I don't remember. I might be wrong, but anyway, he was talking on this YouTube clip about how he met up and was hanging out with Willie Nelson one time, and they were smoking out with the cannabis, and he was saying that like Willie Nelson just totally smoked him under the table, just like said he was just a beast. Merle, not Waylon. So, like Willie Nelson and Merle Haggard, right? Is that the... That's crazy. I've been listening to a lot of Robert Fripp lately, too. Especially the album No Pussyfooting. I was like kind of listening to that like every day for... Actually, I'll probably listen to it again tonight. It's a really, really good album. I've also been on a big John Hassett kick, too. I suppose there's a connection there because of Brian Eno, but... So I guess indirectly I've been also listening to a fair amount of Brian Eno just because he has his fingers all over those types of people with the production and everything, if not even directly involved. I don't know why, it just made me think of it, but it's tangential. But there's this girl named Anna Maria Hefele. She's a German woman, and she has taken overtone singing to a whole new level. She's like If you think you've heard anybody do overtone singing, you need to hear her. She's like an entirely different. It's like, wow. You know, I don't know anything about the soundtrack for Peaky Blinders. I've not seen it. I think I've seen clips of it and stuff, but oh, I think I've already mentioned this before, but I'm also still on the witch kick. We intend to cause havoc. Oh, I don't remember if I mentioned, yes, I really like, well, in particular, two albums, Fragile and Close to the Edge. Those two albums are just like, yikes. Seminal record to me. Okay, you know, I'm going to put this down for a bit. And I'm going to go back to playing K-Diamonds. And then I don't know, and we'll see where it goes from there. How about that? Oops. Knocking stuff over all over the place here. Okay. Let's go into this mode there. And everything still seems to be functioning up properly. And wait, hang on. Oh, yeah, I kind of remember what you're talking about with the David Lee Roth thing. Yeah, man, he you know what? It's funny because you know, well, whatever. People's lives change and stuff. Is just whatever. I mean, I don't wish anybody any ill, of course, but. Okay, man. Aloha, Ben. And thanks again for the image, man. And we're going to move this one here. How about that? And we'll move that one there. How about that? You know, I don't think I'd ever be able to get my mindset into being able to play this, you know, in a, like, actually try to beat any time or, you know, come up with any kind of score or something, you know what I mean? Because I've gotten so used to just zoning out on it, it's like I don't think I could play it any other way now. I've permanently ruined myself for... Actually, I don't even know if I'd really be interested in playing any match 3 games, period, except for ones that would let me just kind of zone out. And now they're going to have cool images, too, so... Yeah, you're right, MSC. That was the thing. Because that's one of the things that I absolutely miss, is sitting there, and especially, you know, a lot of bands, you know, put a lot of time and energy in, you know, put, you know, for their album art being really cool. And it was a good thing to just sit there, you know, and just like dig the album while you're watching, you know, looking at the sleeve, and I don't know. There's just, yeah, there's a whole thing about it. You know, I remember thinking that what a pretty stark contrast when I first started buying like old jazz records, because a lot of them just like had, you know, uh, a picture and maybe some comments, made by, some reviewer or something, or, you know what I mean? They were pretty stripped down, basic kind of. Very different vibe. I'm okay. How's it going, Mr. I'm going to screw your name again. Kierman? I'm going to have to just continually make an ongoing apology for screwing up people's names. Because I'm bad with people's names just normally. And there's more of you than there are of me, so I'm going to screw it up a lot of times, I imagine. Okay. Trying to keep a half-assed attempt at an eye on the clock. There is a tactile thing about it, especially for certain magazines, like, National Geographic, right, or Scientific American, or something like that, where at least to me, they seemed like they were, reasonably decent quality of a thing to actually hold in your hand, or Art Forum for that matter. Hell, even Playboy. Or for that matter, anything that Larry Flint put out. Oops, what am I doing? How about this one here? There we go. Man, I wonder what kind of world, if Larry Flint had come in at the digital age as opposed to the magazine era. I wonder what, how he would have tackled that. What am I doing here? I'm getting off target again. Okay, queer. Okay. Yeah, when I was in school, I took German, so, French is going to sound silly coming out of my mouth. Old vintage Playboy's open to the public. That's funny. Well, I mean, it's tame by comparison to what you can just, click on, pretty readily online, right? I mean, boobs. What's the big deal about boobs? Yeah, I think you're right, MSC. My friend Steve, he's part of his art practices includes photography, and he typically shoots in black and white, of course, 35 millimeters. Typically, although he does stuff in other larger formats, but mostly he shoots in 35 millimeter black and white, and having an image on paper is a thing. Although I guess it's pretty common for everybody to everything is digitized nowadays too, though, after the fact. I mean, I suppose if for nothing else, for archival purposes, it's super valuable. That's funny, MSC. Yeah, there's always the whole VR headset thing, right? Buenos dias. Or shouldn't I say buenos noches? Yeah, yeah. There's something about film that's just really magical. Interesting. I should look into that. Thanks for the recommendation, Justin. I haven't been to the theater in ages, but if I was going to go see something that I could psych myself up into for the visual experience of it. Wow, that one went for it's going for a while, huh? Zowie, that was cool. Oh, earlier tonight I was watching this episode, or actually not necessarily even an episode, a thing that was showing clips from the show QI. And one of the topics that they came up with, they were talking about, was apparently in Reykjavik, they've done these public lecture things where they, like, the whole city turns off all of its lights at night, like the street lights and stuff, so there's no optical or light pollution, and they do this thing about giving lectures up so people can go out and actually listen to the lecture while they're checking it out. Anyway, I'm going to go take my break, and I'll be right back. Okay, so let's come back to here, I guess, for a bit. And I don't know, maybe I'll do some... Well, let me make sure I'm caught up on the comments. Hey Elijah, how's it going? I'm doing okay. Yeah, more or less. Yeah, I'm aging. I'm falling apart, in that department. But otherwise, I guess I'm okay. I'm gonna go back to the good old chunk of wood for a bit. Sounds like my sister is taking her dogs out, and of course they have to interact with and bark and everything to the other dogs. Oh yeah, of course, vexing. I'll do some. You know what? Here, let me just do that now. You know what? Why not? Since we're early on in this segment, let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, here we go. I've been using it to keep my cup on, so hopefully it's not too smudgy or dirty. Anyway, so here we go. I will start with, I guess, letters today. How about that? So here we go. First, A. And I'll do the letter B. And now the letter C. And the letter D. Now the letter E. And now the letter F. Now the letter G. Now the letter H. Now the letter I. Now the letter J. And now the letter K. Now the letter L. Now the letter M. Now the letter N. Now the letter O. Now the letter P. Now the letter Q. Now the letter R. Now the letter S. Now the letter T. And the letter U. And the letter V. And the letter X. And the letter Y. And the letter Z. Okay, now I'll do the digits from 0 up to 9. So starting with 0. And I'll do the number 1. And now I'll do the number 2. Now I'll do the number 3. Now I'll do the number 4. Now I'll do the number 5. I'll do the number 6. Now I will do the number 7. Now I will do the number 8. And now the number 9. There we go. And there's some tracing for the moment. Maybe we'll come back to it in a bit. Okay, here we go. I hadn't planned on a Whisper Wednesday, but there might be one in the works since you've mentioned it. I might do something about that. Reykjavik. I don't know how to spell it off the top of my head, so Reykjavik. Sure, I could spell out Reykjavik. Let's see if I can remember that now. I'll just read it off the thing there. So we'll say R. E. Y. K. J comes next, yeah. Javik. J. A. V. I. And K. All right, there we go. Hey, Fenian, thank you. I appreciate that. And love back to you from California. I don't know when I'll finish the compound finished. Or when I'll consider the compound finished. Yeah. And what will I build after? I'm not sure. I have a lot of ideas. I just don't know which way I'll go with it. I think after I kind of am happy with the building I have in place or that I've started or whatever, I think I'm going to go and try and play somebody else's game just so I could play, in where I'm actually, playing in survival mode as opposed to creative mode, just to get a feel for what that is. Because I'm thinking I'd like to make a game, not just build some weird thing that I'm just building. You watch me build. I think I'd like to make a game that would be publicly available. But this is all very long term. Yeah, I mean, very much very long term. So, and you see the pace it takes me to build this thing. I may never finish this. I'm 60, so, you know what I mean? It could take me decades before I get anything built, Yeah, so I don't know. Do I have any tracing videos on the old channel? I don't think I do. I've never really thought of doing tracing before until, it started getting asked for by vexing and stuff, but, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't mind doing it. I just, it's not really something that triggers me typically, so it's like I feel a little out of place in it, you know what I mean? Because I can't tell if I'm doing it well, you know what I mean? Whereas, other stuff I can go, I can tell what I like, you know what I mean, when it comes to, like tapping noises and stuff like that. I can, so I kind of just do the things that I think sound good, and hopefully other people agree, But, like the tracing, I just do it and hope it's okay. So I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't know. There's one over there for that. Although I encourage everybody to go watch the original channel, because that's monetized. The new one's not. So, I mean, I'm going to keep making videos, but as I said before, I'm working on building up a thing so I can open up a thing on the Patreon thing. I'm going to try to get the Patreon thing to be more robust. I think I've already mentioned that, but yeah, that'll be something happening. Hey Luke, how's it going? Good to have you. Anybody have any good jokes? I don't know why I'm in this mood. I want to hear bad jokes. But come on, MSC, you're always good for some jokes. Okay, what am I gonna do? Oh, you know what I haven't done is I haven't done the jar, and that's because the jar's over there, and the jar yet again is not clean. But that's okay. I'm just using it to make noise. I used it to make tea in it for feeding my kombucha SCOBY, which is mostly what I do with this jar for lately. But anyway. What do I call a man pouring a glass of water? I don't know. What do I call a man pouring a glass of water? A bartender? I don't know. That's just what you're doing, Bill. Oh, bum bum bum. That's a good one. Yeah, see, that's the kind of joke I'm thinking of, right? You know what I should do? I should probably just go steal a bunch of jokes off of old Tonight shows or something. You know, the more dated, the better. Oh, well, that's okay, MSC. There's always next week. You know, I have tried GeoGuessr. I've only played the free version of it, and I suck at it. I've been playing this one off and on that's a sort of an open source free version of it. And it's okay, although it seems to dump me into really remote rural places pretty frequently, which is kind of frustrating because, you know, a lot of times there's nothing I recognize, you know. I mean, I guess if I knew more about trees and stuff, it would be easier, but like I've seen some of those guys that do it on YouTube, where that's kind of their gig, right? That's, you know, what they do is do GeoGuessr. And the kind of stuff that they just seem to know just is baffling to me. It's like, where do you pick up that knowledge, man? You know? Give me a second, I'll look it up real quick. What is it called? Let's see, it's going to be in this browser here, and it's called... it's called OpenGuessr, and they spell Guesser in the same kind of weird, you know, without the ER at the end of it, where it's just the R. Hey Logan, how's it going? So OpenGuessr. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, I should probably think about sticking that in every now and again when I do the geography videos, because I just actually filmed the basic footage to do a geography video that will be coming out sometime, I don't know, in the future. I'm trying to get into more of a workflow that makes sense for putting out more videos, you know. But wife asked if you'd seen the dog bowl. Of course, he didn't know that he did. I know, does he have his own bag and shoes? That's a good one. That's a really good one. I like that. Oh, man. Let me do some more of the jar noise. Yeah, that's true. Buddy Hackett was great on that show. And Don Rickles. I always like it when he had what was her name? Joan Embry or whatever. She would bring animals up from the San Diego Zoo and, you know, have like some lemur sitting on Johnny's head or something. You know what I mean? Wow, that segment went really quick, didn't it? Zippity-doo-dah. Okay, I'll set this over here for the moment, because it's down inside of a minute. And I don't know what I'll do when I come back. Maybe I'll come back and switch over from K-Minds to doing some Mastermind or something like that. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. I'll make up my mind between now and when I come back. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just start off the break, and there we go. I'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. You know, here, I'm going to come back to here. Welcome back. I'm going to switch the game. But I need to do this first. And let's do this to there. Come on, you silly pain. There we go. And you go this, and I go to where are you at now? I don't see it. What happened? Okay, what's going on here? Why is it not showing up my... Let me try this one more time. OBS doesn't want to pick up the new window. All right, now let me see if it will. No, it doesn't seem to want to. What is this? There it is. That's very weird. Okay, this is not what I had in mind, but there you go. What in the world? Why can't I make it go away now? Zowie, sorry about all that mess. What in the world? I can't make OBS behave today. Okay, I don't know. Now I'm not in the mood to play a game. I'll do something else. Sorry about that little... Ay. Yes, your dog, what's 2 minus 2? He said nothing. Excellent joke. I like that. That's exactly what I was in the mood for. There you go. Thank you, you guys. Okay, I'm going to do some more of the bottle here, I guess, or the jar, I mean. And there used to be this guy I used to listen to on the radio on Sunday nights from one of the small little, either college or, you know, PBS type radio stations. And he would play like, you know, trippy space music type stuff. And at the end of it, he'd always do his Sunday meditation thing. But before, like, so he would give this little talk on something. He'd pick a topic and then he'd do this meditation. I wish I could remember where he was and see if he was still on the air. But I don't remember what station it was. And I don't even know if I'd be able to get it here because I wasn't living here when I listened to him. Man. But I could see, but I was thinking it'd be interesting basically to kind of just steal some of his ideas. Hey, wait a minute, where'd the break time clock go? Where did it go to? The white clock should be there. Oh, I guess it got somehow damaged. All right. Well, is it on the... It's Missing on all of them now. How did... Sorry about that, gang. It's that the whole OBS thing just did a weird thing. And I don't know what's going on with it tonight. I guess I'll just ignore it and that'll be that. So I'll just turn that off, I guess. I think I'm going to have to go through and reset up how I have all these things set up. Okay, anyway, so I think it's time to move on to a new trigger. So what do I want to do? What haven't I done yet? Oh, you know what I haven't done? It's another crinkle, but it's one of my new favorites. Awfully loud crinkle. Here, I'm going to move this out of the way. And I'm going to move this over here. There we go. Okay, wait a minute. That's it. Oh, Nichols' wiki page. Cloak of invisibility. This is turning into a very crinkly episode of the live stream, I think. I think that happens pretty frequently, doesn't it? According to the YouTube thing, there's 45 of us. That's almost getting into the same territory as we used to get on the old channel. Although I think the old channel, I don't know that I've really got much more than 60 some odd people, but so what do I want to do now? I don't know. I'll brush some more with the craft brush. How's that? Brushing with the craft brush. Well, the bag kind of crinkles over there in the background. You know, I never thought of that. That might be an interesting thing to do. Like set up some kind of video where I kind of try to do a reasonably careful, you know, array with my mics, you know, to get a decent stereo array kind of sound kind of going. But then for, you know, whatever the target would be, but then get some particularly crinkly stuff and like wad it up really tight, you know what I mean? And then kind of just place it around in places so that it would slowly just kind of crinkle in the background as it kind of came loose from being wadded up, you know? I don't know. I might experiment with that, see what happens. What do we have here? Sir Stabby. Yeah. If maybe you didn't hear that, my woes of losing access to my original channel. So there's a video on this channel, the very first video on this channel that explains it if you're so curious. But I will leave that at that. And we're brushing on the microphone. And we're brushing on the microphone. And we're brushing on the microphone. And we'll brush on this microphone over here. And we'll brush on this microphone over here. Wow, there's a lot of activity upstairs. What are these people doing? Don't they have things to do on Saturday night? They can go out and leave me an empty house to record in. See, I need to get a gazillion people on Patreon to like me so I can, you know, afford to get some kind of highfalutin recording studio that I can make my videos in, so I'll be sonically isolated. Okay, Kate Manda, have a good night, and I will talk to you in the future. I guess aloha would be the right thing to say then, wouldn't it? Well, I'm glad you like my voice, Macho. What is it? Macho Parthernax? Macho Parthernax? That seems vaguely familiar. Parthernax, but I don't know, where does that come from? Or does it just sound like something else? But anyway, I'm glad you found me, and I'm glad that you dig my stuff. That's kind of you to say. Thank you. Brushing on microphone. Brushing on the microphone. And here, I'll do that brush over there, whisper over here thing for a bit. Skyrim. Oh, that game? I've never played it. I am brushing over there while I whisper over here. And I'm brushing over there while I whisper over here. So I'm brushing over there while I'm whispering over here. And let's do longer, slower strokes instead of the short. Oh, I'm talking only about the people upstairs, MSC. I'd like you guys to hang out, man. That's fine. I just want them to go someplace else. Besides, for me, this is like going out. This is my social event for the weekend. So I guess physically I'm staying in, but mentally, emotionally, man, I'm out there in the world. Oops, I was going to do the slower thing, wasn't I? Change it up. Let's do the slower thing. Change it up and do the slower thing. Change it up and do the slower thing. Now I'll switch sides again. All right. Yeah, now it's going to be less awkward. I don't think there is a less awkward. Right. I'll try to do the slower idea of brushing while I'm whispering over here. Kind of slowly brushing over there now instead. Oh, you know what I just thought I might do? What are you suggesting that this isn't real social life, man? I don't think I've done it in a while, or maybe I haven't, I've just forgotten. But bear with me real quick. I'm going to step away for a second. And I'm going to spin the wheels. How about that? I'm going to spin the wheels. Oh, I don't, because I lost that, the text file that had that phrase on it was on my desktop of the machine when it died, and I lost all that stuff. That was among the data that was lost. I suppose I could go back and listen to it again and reconstruct it, but so no, I haven't done it in a while. Catastrophic trigger. I like that, MSC. Well, what's that going on for? Why are you even doing that? Well, there it went. Well, I thought I turned it off, but apparently it was still running in the background. I hope it's loud enough for you guys to actually get it, be able to hear it decently. I mean, it looks like it's getting picked up on the meters, but I'll start that to that. Maybe it's too quiet. I should get like a little Dremel or something with a little rubber wheel on it and spin them up that way or something, I'm going really super fast. Does anybody else like it? Because I certainly like it. I know I've used it before. I just don't remember whether I'm just forcing this on you guys or whether you guys actually like it too. And let's do this over here. Maybe I'll do this. I'll do this. And I'll do some tapping on it too at the same time. Slow it down here again, I guess. I should put my hand up here so you guys can see it, huh? Spinning the wheels and tapping on the deck. Well, the bottom of it anyway. I should spin this. Spin these up again. Gosh, pads. Hey Tarek, how's it going? Oops, I'm spinning back up again. Quaker State, there you go. Thanks, they're just independent reds, so they're nothing special. But they sound nice, don't they? And they spin decently, yeah. I mean, they spin more than good enough for my needs. I mostly just use this to ride around in my room because I have a concrete floor, so. Or at least part of it anyway, a big chunk of it. Wonder what I should do. I'll just do this for a couple more minutes, then I'll think of something else to do for the last 10 minutes, I guess. Thanks, Abra. Okay, that's enough skateboard stuff for now. I'm gonna go put it back in that chair over there. To keep myself from tripping on it or anything like that, I leave it in my recliner when I'm not in my recliner, and then when I'm in my recliner, I take it out, because if I'm in the recliner, I don't need it, right? You know what I mean? I need to see myself stepping on it accidentally and not paying attention to what I'm doing and going floop, landing on my ass on the concrete floor, and that would not be fun. No, that would not be fun. So what do I want to do now? I don't know. Is there anything that's worth babbling about for the last 8 minutes? Does anybody have any news they want to share with the group? Trying to think if there's any fun things I could talk about. Well, I guess I could talk about a little bit about, I'm going to be having multiple levels or tiers on the Patreon coming up, hopefully in March. It's kind of dependent on me having stuff up and posted, because I don't want to start charging people money until there's something to actually charge for. I think I've mentioned that before, but so. Oh, I rode one that had those red clay wheels. That, man, yeah, that was pretty horrible. It wasn't mine though. Yeah, the first one I got had the urethane wheels. Yeah, it would be horrible, man. Those clay wheels sucked. And then before that, what it would have to be those little metal wheels. I had some friends that had those metal wheel skates. Yikes, they were horrible. And those ones that you put on the outside of your shoe, those were horrible too. With the little key, the skate key. I mean, the kind of nonsense that we had as toys, yikes. Holy mackerel. Of course, that was back in the days when kids were playing in the street, and everybody like, car. All the kids scatter out of the street to let the car go by, and then everybody slowly comes back out. That was pretty fun. Okay, so I gotta think about some more triggery stuff to do, I think. I guess I could just play with this for a while. Just totally give into the whole crinkly nature of it, yeah. I think roughly 3.5 minutes is too long for lullabies, or shall I go into the lullabies? Maybe I'll do that and I'll do a quieter crinkle in the background. So you can sit there in the corner and crinkle away in the background. I'll get, how about the big bag, and I'll just crinkle it in my lap underneath here quietly as I Okay, gang, we're winding up the show here for Saturday, February 7th. And this Monday, I don't remember whether it's going to be Mind Test or what was it. I don't remember. I can't keep track anymore. But there goes the timer. It's just gone off for me. So if you don't hear me, go ahead and turn that off. There we go. And yeah, I guess that's it. So I guess yeah, have a good night. Aloha, siblings. I hope to see you next week.